So web development means developing of web applications. Okay, so it is also called as server side. See, for example, you should know the difference between a website and a web application. Can you guess? Website of Centum is something like www.centum.org, assuming. Now, it will only have some pages. It will have a home page. It will have team structure, anything. It is not a web application. I will tell you what is web application. Suppose if you have a web application called Facebook. Facebook is a web application because we can interact with it, correct? Or suppose if you take Amazon for buying products, it is a web application. You take Flipkart is a web application. You take IRCTC website, it will help you to book train tickets. That is a web application. Which performs a lot of activities, user activity. Whereas website is a simple website, that's all. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now you can actually use Python to do web application or web development. You can do that. Python is not only used for developing data science algorithms, it will also help you to perform web application or web development. For that, you have different flavors of Python like Flask, Cherry, Pyramid, Django, Web2Py. These are all called as frameworks of Python. You will not be studying all these things because it is not in your scope, but know these words. You have something called as a Django or Django. This is called as a framework, Python framework. Where it is used? It is used for developing web application. Web2Py. Where it is used for developing web application.
Okay.
Now, Python is not only used by data science engineers, they are also used by web developers. So web developers use Python for developing web applications. Data science engineers use Python for data analysis. So it is used for both web application as well as data analysis. Is that point very clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It is used in software development. You know what is software development. I don't have to tell you much about that. It is used in mathematics. Very, very, very important. Today, Python is used widely in mathematics for numerical calculations. Earlier, there was one language called Fortran. How many of you have heard of this language? Fortran, formula translation. There was a language called Fortran. Now that Fortran is replaced by Python. Because Python gives you a lot of mathematical computation capability. So it is used for problems. So you can do a lot of things. So Python is got wide variety of application. So that is the reason people are studying the Python nowadays. Okay. Then it is used for system scripting. Now this is one more area which you are not aware of. System scripting is basically used for developing scripts. Computer scripts, there are interpreted scripts. We will not touch about this because we are not going to learn about this. So anyway, understand that Python is not only used for data science, it is actually used for software development, it is used for mathematics, and it is used in system scripting. And the official site of Python is this, www.python.org. You must have already seen this particular site and you have downloaded the Python also. Which version of Python you have downloaded?
So 3.8.
3.8. Very good. The latest Python is 3.8.
This is the latest only, sir.
Latest only. Good. Now, why did the name came as Python? Now, you know, Python is a name of a snake actually. Correct? Now, the person who started Python was this guy, Guido van Rossum. Now, this guy is from Netherlands. I don't know how to pronounce his name. It is Guido van Rossum. Now, what was happening was he was basically watching one serial in BBC. Okay, when that concept of Python came into his brain, he was watching one serial in BBC, and the name of the serial was Monty Python's Flying Circus, and it was a comedy series. So what happened was that the concept of Python came into his mind. He wanted to develop one programming language which can be freely used by everybody. So he was looking for a name, a good name. which was short, unique. So what he did was he took that series name itself and he called it as Python. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, I don't know how many of you in Java, if you look at the logo of Java, you'll get one coffee cup with fumes. Have you seen that? You know how that Java, how that logo
Yes,
came into picture?
Yes.
The developer of Java was sitting in front of a coffee cup and he was sipping the hot coffee. Something flashed into his mind. I want to develop one language, programming language, which will have these many features. Feature 1, feature 2, feature 3. Immediately he started developing. Then he wanted to give a logo. Since he got the concept when he was drinking coffee, so he gave the logo as coffee cup. So IT people are little hanky cranky sometimes. They do whatever they want. So this is how the name Python came. This is how the name Java came. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Now,
yes, sir.
Sir.
what are the features of Python? Very, very important. First of all, it is easy to code. Coding is very, very, very easy in Python. It is not like C. If you know English, you can code Python. It is easy to code. Then it is open source and it is free. There is no license involved. So we call it as a GPL license in Python. What is the meaning of a GPL license? GPL. G stands for general, P stands for public, L stands for license. GPL. Anybody in this world can use Python. Anybody can contribute to Python. Anybody can download Python. Anybody can share Python with anybody. Nobody will come and ask you, why are you installed Python in your system? Today, if you install Microsoft .NET or if you install Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint without a license, and if you are running a company, they'll immediately come and see your system and they'll put fine for you because you are using it without a license. Understood? So, for example,
Sir, as it is free software, then what is the profit of owner?
the owner is a GNU, that is general, not Unix is a owner. It's a community edition here. There is no owner for this. It's a community edition.
Yes, and what is the profit of this Python company and all?
It is not profit, it is NGO. It's an NGO, non-governmental organization.
As it is
See,
free,
that is
free software.
See, for example, Unix. Nobody is earning from Unix. No profit. It is for the people. Whereas Microsoft is a profit-oriented organization. Every license you procure, you have to pay for it. You know how they get popularity? I'll tell you now. Suppose Pallab is a Python programmer, let us say. Okay, you have some 2-3 years of Python programming experience. Now what you do, you develop one small package in Python, module in Python, and you give it to the community. Now what community will do, they will start using your module. Okay, once they start using your module, you will get how many people are using your module. So you'll come to know how many downloads have happened for your module. See, it is like developing an app here, Android app in Play Store. Okay, now how many downloads you are getting will increase your popularity or not? So you have to make use of that popularity to earn money. Python will not give you money for giving you the module, but people will recognize you for contributing that module to Python. Like a community, to be very frank. Understood?
Yes.
Okay, politicians decide. You know what politicians basically do? One way they are getting money, but they go to various places, okay, and they talk and they develop public relationship. No, so like that they are getting popularity. Money may not be coming in the form of cash. Popularity also sometimes is money only. Okay, so that is why it is called as open source and free. And with this object-oriented approach, you will learn programs on. I told you what is object-oriented approach. It should follow class, objects, encapsulation, inheritance. All those concepts can be implemented in Python. And more importantly, it is highly portable. Very, very, very important. What do you mean by portability? Any idea?
Yes, sir. So we can move easily here and there.
Here and there means where?
Easy, easy to handle like that.
Here and there means you develop the Python program on a Windows machine. You can run that Python in a Mac machine, Apple Mac.
Hmm.
And you can also run it on a Unix machine or a Solaris machine. So that is why it is called as platform independent. Platform independent. Independent means independent of the platform, the Python program will run. It is not platform dependent. It is platform independent. Is that clear?
But sir, Mac extension is different. Windows extension different. How it
That
flows.
is, you can run Python there also. You just have to add the extension and run. That's all. Convert the Python into a compiled code and run it. I am talking about Mac operating system, OS, Apple Mac OS.
Yes, sir. But sir, Mac extension is .dmg and Windows .exe. Then go to it will come.
That is what. No, don't worry about the extension here. The Python program, when you write, it is capable of sitting on any operating system. Okay, it can run either on Mac or either in. See, now two different extensions are there. That is not a problem. It has got a module called interoperability. So, what is that module doing? When it sits on a Mac machine, it will make convert it into interoperability feature of Mac and it will run. If it is sitting on a Windows operating system, it will convert it into interoperability feature of Windows and it will run. That is the goodness of feature. That is the goodness of Python. Here, operating system is nothing to do with Python. Python is doing something on the operating system.
Yes, sir. Okay.
So that is why. And you know one thing, you can run Python program on a USB drive also. You can simply take. You don't have to install a Python compiler also. You can convert it and run it on a USB drive whenever you want. So you can do whatever you want. You can run wherever you want. You can run in different layers of network. OSI model. You don't know what are the OSI models. Just know that it can run on a network model also. Python is so portable. So that is why Python is most preferred language today. So it is highly portable. Okay. See now that is why it is used in web development. See now you cannot expect. Suppose if you know one thing, YouTube. Have you all of you use YouTube? No.
Yes.
YouTube is actually developed in Python.
Yes, sir.
Now, does YouTube tell that I will work only on Windows machine, I will not work on Mac machine? Okay, so that means if YouTube has to work on Windows, Mac, Tab, mobile, iPad, iPhone, everywhere, that has to be compatible. So how did people make it compatible? Because YouTube uses Python. Since Python is portable, YouTube also is portable. Most of the web applications are portable. Okay, so what is one of the feature of Python? Okay, I think I've written that. So YouTube is actually written in Python. Now, what of YouTube is written in Python? That is very important here. See, whenever you go and select YouTube, okay, I will show one channel of YouTube. Okay, now this is my. So this is your YouTube user interface, no? Now, whatever you see in the front may not be developed in Python. So whatever you see here, it is basically a UI interface. These are all UI interfaces.
What's the UI means, sir?
Okay. User interface. UI. These are all UI interfaces. Now, what I will do is, I have something called as YouTube Studio. Just click on this YouTube Studio. Okay, when you click on this YouTube Studio, you have something called as analytics. Can you see that? Okay, now this analytics will tell me how many views I got, how many subscribers I have, and how much money I have earned. Now you can see this graph. Now this graph is because of data science. Now this graph is actually generated by Python. So for example, now let us take, you have reach. I'll click on reach. So you can see the different traffic sources. YouTube search 54.8%, external 14.1%, suggested 11.5%. Now where am I getting all these values from? This is nothing but YouTube is collecting the data. I told you, no, data science has got how many steps? Extraction, cleaning, visualization, and information. You remember that?
Yes, sir.
Now what did YouTube did? See, so many people are watching my channel. My channel name is SP Tech. So many people are watching my channel. So what happens is it will take all the data from the channel and it will present it in the form of a graph. This is called as visualization. See, now I'll click on audience. See, when I click on audience, it will tell me how much of audience I'm getting, how many viewers are there, how many subscribers are there. All these things it is telling me. And it is telling my age group also, how many female viewers are there and how many male viewers are there. So 44.9% of my viewers are females and 55.1% are male. Then what age group? 13 to 17 years, 9.7%, 18 to 24 years, 64.5%, like this. With this, I'll get a fair idea. See now, for example, my channel is basically for promoting IT technologies to college students. So college students generally will be in this age group, 18 to 24 years. So that means 64.5% people are watching my videos. So that means my channel is doing good. Okay, so where did I get this data from? How am I getting this data? Very good. One is data science, but who is running? What program is running at the behind? Python program is running at the behind. Yes.
Python.
Understood, no? Now,
Yes,
this is what I told you, analytics. Can you see that? Analytics. Analytics means analysis of the data. I showed you, if you remember, I showed you the first or second session of data science. Analysis of information and presentation of information is one of the main important aspect of data science, correct? So this is the presentation of information. So for example, I'll go to say, let us say I'll go to playlist. So this is my playlist. Okay, now I will select say software engineering. This is my software engineering course. So in this software engineering course, what it will do, one by one I can select and I can basically see what is the analytics of this particular course, how it is performing. All those things I can see. Is that clear? Okay, so this is where we make use of Python in YouTube. That is, so you can see YouTube with over 4 million views per day and 60 hours of video uploaded every minute. YouTube has become one of the most visited sites on the planet. Did you know this? Actually, YouTube has got more impressions than Google. Okay, and you will not believe how many millions of views per day? 4 millions and 60 hours of video uploaded every minute. So you see the amount of data coming in. I told you we are dealing with huge data nowadays. And what was the amount? What was the term I used? What was it called? What bytes was it called? You remember? It was not zettabytes. So now you know how much is one zettabyte? Zettabyte was 10 to the power of 21
10 to the power
bytes.
21.
Bytes. Now you can see a video, 60 hours of video uploaded every minute. So every minute 60 hours means, just imagine here, 60 hours means in 1 minute, you are uploading 60 hours of video. In 1 hour, there are 60 minutes. So 360 hours of video multiplied by 24. Huge. So that much of data where YouTube has to analyze, mine, give the information to each and every user. And my statistics, suppose if you open a YouTube channel tomorrow, Your channel video statistics will be different. My channel video statistics will be different. Your viewers are different. My viewers are different. So your information is different. My information is different. So to do this activity at the background, somebody is really doing a hard work, and that person is Python. That is why Python is widely used as a data science programming language. Now you can see that Python is recognized as an official language at Google and has been with them since the beginning. So you know that Google is an official language for Python, and one more thing you have to understand is it is also used in Instagram, Reddit, Spotify, Dropbox, and Quora. Have you heard of Quora?
Yes, sir.
What is Quora?
So if you want to search any kind of questions answer, just so if you're having any kind of doubt, so you can go and you can search anything.
Yes.
You will
Yes.
get the answer from there.
Yeah, that also is developed in Python only. So Dropbox, Spotify, I don't have to explain what is Spotify. Instagram, though, you'll be knowing. In Instagram also, how many followers are getting, all those things, that data science only, it is. How many followers you have, data science only it is. So it is all developed in Python. Understood this portion?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now going further. Now we shall see what are the first program in Python. Okay, we'll take one first program in Python. Don't worry about this program too much. Just first I want you to take a paper and a pen and write down this particular program in hand. Then I will explain you what is this program all about. Will you do that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Don't take screenshot. Most of my students do that. They'll take one screenshot there. Don't do that. I want you to write it down. Because only when you write, it will get into your head, the concept of class and objects. Take this down.
Yes, sir.
Over?
Done, sir.
Yeah, over.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
So now we will analyze this program very clearly and see how this program works. If you can understand this first program, then object-oriented programming in Python will be a cakewalk. So concentrate this program from the beginning. Okay. So I will open Word now. Okay. Now, let me go to the program. See, I told you that in object-oriented programming, you have two things which is starting point. First one is called a class, and the second one is called as an
Class and
object.
object.
So this program consists of both classes and objects. And I told you that classes will have two sections. What are those two sections?
Properties and methods.
Properties and methods.
Properties and methods. So now analyze this program.
Methods.
Don't bring C into picture now. If you bring C into picture, you will get confused. One major difference between Python and C is there is no hash include statements in Python.
Yes.
In C, you will write now hash include stdio.h, hash include ponio.h, hash include that.h. You will do the job. And there is no void main. There is no open bracket. There is no closing bracket. There is no semicolon at the end of every statement. Is it? This is all there in C, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You remember or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I remember.
So, okay. So
Yes, sir.
I told you, I see one thing you should understand. Python is a free flow language. Always remember this. Free flow language. Free flow. That means if you know English, you can write program in Python. Just like typing sentences. But some rules you have to follow. That's all. Just like typing sentences. There is no technical words involved here. See, when I say hash include stdio.h, it's a technical word. Hash include, then open lesser than sign, stdio.h, then put greater than sign. You have to put that in angled brackets. It is not there in Python. All those nonsense is not there. Okay, that is why we say anybody who does not have any programming knowledge also can learn Python. You don't have to have programming knowledge. Okay, now my program is beginning with a word called class, C-L-A-S-S, and the name of the class is called as begin. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes,
see, you know what is a class. A class has got two sections. One is called the property section, and the second one is called as a method section. And every class will have a class name. In the last class, I told you class lecturer, class principal. So that lecturer was the name of the class, correct? No?
Yes, sir.
Here, begin is the name of the class. The name of the class is what? Begin. You can call anything. I can call this as class ABC. So what is the class ABC? Is that clear to all of you? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Why did I use begin? No, because of only one reason. Because it will give meaningful name. That is why you can call it as class idiot. No problem. It works. Okay. So what I will do is now I will go to this word and I'll draw one box now to make you understand. Now I am creating the class. So the name of this class is called begin. And you know that class will have two sections. I'll put the two sections here. Okay. Now, in this class, there is one method. The method is called as display. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Don't worry about the self now. The self, you forget about this for a moment. Don't worry about that. Now, DEF, can you see that? DEF. This DEF is a keyword in Python to define a function. DEF stands for define. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Like class, this class is used to give a class name. DEF is used to give a function name. So what is the name of the function? Display. And if you want to create a function, it should have a word def. Def stands for define. Now, in this class, there are no variables. Can you see any variables there? No. That means there is nothing in the first portion. I told you, first portion will only have properties. No properties, no roll number, no employee number, nothing is there. So this space is empty. So in this case, so always remember, when you define a class, it's not that you should have this. This space is empty.
Yes, sir.
The space is empty. Nothing is there in this. So I'll make it as empty. I'm drawing and showing you so that it will be easy for you. So this space is empty for you. Okay, now you're done with this. Now I'm coming to the second space. In the second space, I have defined only one method. What is that method? And the name of the method you have defined is display. So the name of the method is display. So that display method has been written. So this is the name of the method, display. So every method will have open bracket, close bracket, and what is the body? What I am writing inside the method? What is inside the body of the method? Print. What it is showing there? Print I am from display function of class begin. Now, print is an output statement in Python. In C, you used printf. You remember?
Yes, sir.
Yes, printf.
In Python, it is just print. That's all.
Yes, sir.
In Python, it is just print, not printf. Only print. Print. Open the bracket. Close the bracket. Open the string. Close the print. Close the string. Say I have opened the bracket here. I have opened the string or quotation marks. I am from display function of class begin, and I am closing the quotes, and I am closing the bracket. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now you just understand, you have class begin. After that, you have given some space. That means, what does this mean? In the class begin, this function is available. So this function belongs to class begin. So there's a space between these two, no? Some spaces you have left here. Why do you give like this here? Word, see, suppose you would write like this, no? Okay, I will give you an example. Now, one second. Aisha, you're following this? Okay, I think
Yes.
now I think you should be able to follow. Let's say
So to write
that
the
you have
program-
physics. One second. You have physics. Under physics, you have nuclear physics. What is the meaning of this? Under physics, you have nuclear physics, correct, no?
Yeah.
So what does this mean? Nuclear physics is a part of physics.
Yeah.
That is why you are leaving the space.
Okay.
So this is called as indentation. What is it called?
Indentation.
Indentation. So now you just see the program. You have a class called begin. Within that class, I am writing display function, which means this function belongs to this class called begin. Within this display function, I am leaving some space and I am writing print command. So this command belongs to display function. Understood? So,
Yes.
so if you want, I'll write it here. So here, so what I will do, now this is your class begin. In this class begin, I have display function. Within display function, I have a print command. If you want one more function within this display, I put one more print command if you want. There are two print commands. You want one more print. If you want one more function, then that will be in which indentation? It will be in this indentation. It will be here. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
This will be, for example, output function. Within this output function, I have one more print command.
Print function. Yeah.
One more. Now that means what? This class has got two functions. One is a display function and one is an output function. This output function will have two print commands and display function will be having two print commands, and both these functions belong to a class called begin. Understood now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Same thing I have done here. Display. Don't worry about the self. We'll talk about the self later. Don't confuse now. Just remember it's something called as self. So print I am from display function of a class begin. Now the class definition is over. Now the class definition is over. Ho gaya. Class ka definition. So in this you have a, I'll write down that also. you have a print. This is the print. Now I told you, now what is this? These are what, this is what section? This section?
So, method.
Method section. Good. This section is your method section. Very good. Method section. Okay, let me just see. Without board, it is very difficult to teach. Blackboard. This is your method section. Okay. Okay. Now this is done. So how many methods you have now? You have only one method in this particular class called begin. Okay, this begin is gone. It's a class called begin. Now I told you every class will have what? Objects. Every class will have what? Objects. Correct? No?
Yes, sir.
So how do you create an object in Python? Just see, this is the code. obj1 is equal to begin. Here obj1 is the name of the object and begin is the name of the class, open bracket, close bracket, which means that obj1 object is created of the class begin. And you see the indentation, it is in this indentation, class indentation, because it is separate, no? Object the definition is separate. It's not within the class, it is outside the class. Is it clear? So, I am creating two objects. What are the two objects I am creating now? I am creating two objects. One object is called obj1, which is obj1. And another object I'll create, and this object is called obj2. So these two are the objects of this particular class. obj1 is the object of class begin and obj2 is the object of class begin. How do I create an object? obj1 is equal to begin and obj2 is equal to begin. If you want to create one more object called obj3, so you can say obj3 is equal to begin. One more object I created. Now I gave the name as obj1 and obj2 just for your information. You can give object name as anything. So I can say here Ram is equal to begin. So Ram is the name of an object and I can say John is the name of an object. Understood? Okay, now I'll define it as obj1 and obj2 only. So we'll call it as obj1 and obj2. obj1, obj2, this was not there, we'll leave it. Okay, now two objects have been created, as you can see here, obj1 and obj2. Both these objects are of the class begin. Now using this object, I am calling this method. So how do I do that? I will say obj1 dot display. Means what? Using this object 1, I am calling this display method, and using this object 2, I am calling this display method. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So what I am doing now, using this object obj1, what I am doing, I am calling this display method, and using this object, I am calling this display method. With both the objects, one object is calling the display method, another object is calling the display method. Suppose if there are 6 objects, with all the 6 objects, I can call the display method. That means objects can access the methods of the class. Now you can see that display is a method. Display is a method of which class? Begin class. obj1 is an object of class, begin class. So that means if you want to use this object to call the display method, I will use the object name dot method name. Object name dot method name. So when I use the syntax, an object can be used to call the method of a particular class. Is this clear? Or you
Not
have
that much,
doubts?
sir. Object.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay,
Doubts.
okay. I will.
Once you explain.
Tell me what doubt you have now. One by one, we'll clarify. Till that, we'll not proceed further at all.
Object.
You have to understand this. I will not go to any other program till you understand this.
Sir, once you
Now
explain
you
that
ask me.
object, sir. Object.
Tell me what doubt you have. You explain it to me, then I will understand. So then I will come to know where you are going wrong. Take this class. What is happening here first? Pallab, are you there?
Yes, sir.
What is the meaning of class begin?
That sir, this class name is begin.
Very good. Okay. So you have declared a class.
Begin.
You have declared a class. Very good. Now in that class, what have you declared?
In that class, we have declared one function. That name is display.
Display
You
function.
have displayed one method called display. Correct? So this is clear. This portion is clear. So what is the method doing? What is the method doing? It is printing one sentence. I am from display function of a class that it is printing. Correct, no?
Yeah.
So class the definition is clear from here to here. This definition is clear.
Also, this display is towards object.
Now you are getting confused with the object. Okay. Now I will give you a simple example. Now you'll understand. Okay. See here. What is the meaning of integer A?
Then, sir, the type
A
is
is a variable of the type int.
type int. Is
Very good. Now, suppose if I say float b. B is a variable of the type float.
type.
Okay. Suppose if I say begin obj1, what does it mean now? Now, int is a type, float is a type, A is a variable, B is a variable. Here, begin is a type, and obj1 is an object. Correct? So, obj1 is an object of the class begin. Similarly, I can say begin obj2. obj2 is an object of the class begin. Or I can say like this, begin A comma, B comma, C comma, D comma, E comma, F. A, B, C, D, E and F are all the objects of the class begin.
Yes, sir.
Now this type of declaration was there in C++.
Yeah.
If you want to declare an object, what you will do in C++? No, you will put the class name and the object name. That's all. So that C++ will know that obj2 is an object of the class begin. A is an object of class begin. B is an object of class begin. But in Python, they slightly changed it. What they did, they said obj1 is equal to begin. That's all. Syntax is changing. That's all. obj1 is equal to begin means what? This obj1 is an object of the class begin. This obj2 is equal to object of the class begin. Now you must be wondering why I am getting this open brackets and close brackets here. That is where you are getting confused. That is the syntax of Python. You cannot avoid that. You have to give the open brackets and close bracket, and you have to use the equality symbol, and you have to put the object name on the left side, and you have to put the class name on the right side. But in case of C++, you are putting the class name on the left side and the object name on the right side. Is this clear now?
Yeah. Yes, it's clear.
Sir.
How do I create? Now this is a small mistake is there. This should be lowercase obj because I think while typing I made a mistake. This is obj1. This is obj2. Okay, so the object is obj1 and obj2. Now using this object, I am calling this method, and using this object, I am calling this method. Which means what? See, you should know in object-oriented programming, if this method has to be called, the method has to be called using an object. Using an object only, you have to call that method. So using object 1, you are calling this method. Object 1. So what will be the output? The output will be 2 times it will display. I am from display function of class begin. I am from display function of class begin. Because one time the print statement will be executed from the obj1 object. Another time the print statement will be executed from obj2 object. Understood? So I'll show you that program. See now, this is a program. I have opened this in PyCharm. See now, I have given a class called begin. In that you have definition display self. Print I am from display function of class begin. You see the indentation. This class indentation and object indentation are in the same line.
Yeah.
Whereas your display is within the class and your print is within the display.
Yeah.
You are getting confused because in C we used to make use of brackets, open brackets and close brackets. Here we are not making use of that. That is why probably now when you run this code and click on the see, I am from display function of class begin. I am from display function of class begin. Okay, now I'll give you one more example. I will create one more object for you. So what I will do is I'll call the object as Ram. Ram is equal to begin. One more object I created, correct? How many objects are there now? Object 1, object 2 and Ram. Now I will say
Ram.
dot display. See, automatically it will show. Just select that Ram dot display and run. See, I am from. It will call this method how many times? 3 times.
3 times.
So this display function is first called by object 1.
Object 1.
This display called by object 2. This display function is called by Ram. Now you remember, I have only one function called mark attendance. There are 3 lecturers in your class. So all the 3 lecturers are making use of the same function called mark attendance. Am I writing different functions for different lecturers? That is why we are using object-oriented programming. Assuming that this display method is mark attendance function, so you have 3 lecturers in your class. You have Ram, John, and one more person. All the 3 lecturers will call the same mark attendance function. So they are making use of the same function, but 3 people are making use of the function.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You are understanding, Pallab?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that object 1, Ram are printing the same.
Yes, sir.
Now you see, now I'll come to YouTube. YouTube, there is only one program in YouTube. I have opened a channel, you have opened a channel. So you are an object, I am an object. Aisha also has opened one channel. She is one object.
Yes, sir.
Now YouTube, in that
Yes, sir.
YouTube channel, there is one Python program which will display the graph. So when Aisha is calling that graph function, Aisha's graph will be shown. When I am calling that graph function, my graph will be shown. When you are calling that graph function, your graph will be shown. But there is only one function. So the same function is used by 3 different people. So three different people, three different output. But here it is showing only one output only. But you can make it to give three different output depending upon which object you are actually using. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is called as code reusability, which is one of the main concepts of object-oriented programming. What is it called?
Reusability.
Reusability. So you are using this display method
Reusable.
by three different objects. अगर ये नहीं होता ना, so you have to write three different functions in C. One display function exclusively for object 1, one more display function exclusively for object 2, and one more display function exclusively for object 3. Three functions you have to write. Three functions you have to write. If there are three people only in a college, you don't mind writing three functions. You take YouTube. If YouTube would have been written in C programming, how many viewers are there in YouTube? Millions of viewers are there.
Yes, sir.
So for if millions of viewers, if you write millions of functions, the programmer will go to mental hospital.
So one thing, sir, what is the use of self, sir?
Yes, sir.
I'll come to it. I told you very clearly. Now you don't worry about that self at this point of time. Just think that self is there. I will teach you what exactly is that self in the next class. It is called the instance of an object. If I tell you instance of an object, you will get confused. Okay, now at this point of time, don't worry about self. Know that the method called display has a statement called print, and that display method is called by three different objects. And every time you call that method, the print will be called, which means that output will be three times.
Yes, sir.
Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I'll give you one more example. See, internet banking is there. Okay, why you go to internet banking? Okay, now you are going to IRCTC portal to book tickets, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, when you are logging into IRCTC portal, what is the first thing it will ask you? Login name and password. Okay, now Aisha has got one login name and password. Pallab has got one login name and password. I have got one login name and password. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Like that, there are hundreds and thousands
Yes,
of users. All those hundreds and thousands of users have got login name and password. Now, do you think IRCTC has now separate function for validating Aisha's login ID and my login ID and my password and her password? No. There is only one program, that's all. One function is there.
Program is different, yeah.
When Aisha is logging in, that program will run for Aisha. When I am logging in, that program will run for me. But her ID is different and my ID is different. So checking will be different. So I said that same login ID password program is being reused again and again by multiple number of users. So reusability is there. That is why object-oriented programming is so useful. You make only one effort. That's all. One time you make the login ID password and keep it off. Any number of people can use it. One time, for example, in banking system, only one time you have to write one program to generate the statement of accounts. For any number of accounts, it can do. No need to write for every account holder. Understood? No?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
That is the concept of object-oriented programming in Python. Okay, this you just focus on this program today, learn about this program. In the next class, I will take you to some more concepts in OOPS. I will show you. First, I'll explain you what is self. Then I'll tell you what is a constructor. Then we will slowly understand how instance variables are happening in OOPS using Python.